Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up because today we are doing an Emma Book Talk inspired look, which is also inspired by Gwyneth Paltrow, so stay tuned. I've already washed my face and done my skincare, so let's start by neutralizing the skin. Gwyneth Paltrow is known for her no makeup and a lot of the times no makeup look, like actual no makeup. So in order to achieve that look, unless you have, Hollywood skincare going on, you really need to neutralize and get rid of any discoloration that's going on the face. So that usually includes underneath the eye and on the eyelid. So I'm taking my NARS Tinted Smudge Proof eyeshadow base and I'm going to do exactly that. I'm just going to take that from the lash line and kind of in this inner corner as well, anywhere where I'm going to put eyeshadows, and just get rid of any little veins that are starting to peek through or any discoloration that can happen as we age or just normally as well. Sometimes when you have under eye circles, it also creeps up onto the upper lid as well. It can be hereditary, it can also be environmental, all of those things. So it's just a great way to start and it holds onto your eyeshadows. The second place we are going to neutralize is going to be underneath the eye with some Corrector from Bobbi Brown. So still taking my ring finger and just very, very lightly tapping that onto anywhere I'm seeing a little bit of discoloration. So for me, it's like a little bit right here and definitely this inner corner. And with the inner corner, it's a really good idea to grab a brush as well. Otherwise, you can find after your application that it gets a little gunky. And you don't want that, because I know we're going to be putting on concealer as well, and later on in the tutorial. So now I'm going to continue prepping the eyes with a Lisa Eldridge pencil. This is in Cinder Smoke, and I'm going to tightline my eyes. Just making sure that that lash line pops just a little bit more. Doing that with a black is a great way to go. If you don't have a black, choosing a color that is either just a little bit softer than black or complements your eye color can also be a great choice. So now we can jump right into the complexion, because I know we're doing a very minimal eye, we're doing a minimal lip, and I'm going to jump in with Lisa Eldridge's Seamless Foundation. So I'm going to take my Fluffy 55, just one pump. I'm going to dot, bounce my brush, and blend out. Again, I'm really focusing on anywhere where I'm seeing just a little bit of discoloration. I take very good care of my skin, so there's not a whole bunch of areas, and it's a good reminder when you're doing looks like this that you don't really need a lot of foundation, you don't need a lot of makeup if you're taking care of yourself and taking care of your skin to the best of your ability. Definitely on my nose. Not only does it tend to get red, but it also tends to just disappear throughout the day. And I feel like that's a big telltale sign of whether or not you're wearing makeup, is if your nose and your cheeks are looking very unified minus the blush, then you're probably wearing makeup, but it doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. Grabbing just any excess that's on the back of my hand and getting into that forehead area. And then just bouncing my brush and making sure that everything is nice and blended together. I can also go in with the 57 or something fairly similar and make sure the same thing happened with my corrector and my neutralizer for the lid. So now I'm nice and neutralized. I have a really good base. I'm going to continue to build with my brows. So I'm taking the brow definer, and if I have a little extra time, I'm going to brush the brow hair down and find any gaps that are happening. Usually there's a little spot where everybody has a bit of a gap. And that's exactly where you want to go. You don't need to fill in where you already have brows. Then you're just making your brow look very full, fuller than it needs to be. The nice thing about the brows is that you don't really fiddle with them. And when you start wearing makeup, it's really important that you stop touching your face, because you're just spreading bacteria on there, and you don't want to gunk up your face with any of that. So the nice thing about the brows is once you learn not to touch your face, you never have to redo your brows because it just stays in place, especially if you're using a really good product. So now we can continue with complexion, and I'm going to go in with the Pixie blush, and I'm just going to stroke it on my cheek. And this gives you the most natural blush ever. It is phenomenal. You can use your fingers, You can use a brush. This is just a phenomenal blush. It doesn't last super long. You can absolutely powder on top of it for a little bit of extra longevity, but initially it just really brightens up the face. And how easy is this to throw in your bag if you feel like you need to carry this with you throughout the day. Now I'm going to go in with lips because I want to make sure I'm not going too heavy on the eyes because, again, Gwyneth Paltrow has usually very minimal eye makeup. So I'm going with Je ne sais quoi, which has a really nice peach, but sometimes it feels a little overpowering. So to tone it down and to kind of bring a little bit more of that pink, because we are doing Emma, I've grabbed two glosses. I've grabbed Songbird and I've grabbed Charm, and I'm going to combine them and then put them on my lips. So just on the back of my hand, I'm just rolling that doe foot applicator, mixing them together on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to pat them in. And the brown in Songbird will take down some of the peachiness, and the pink in Charm will bring forward a little bit more of that pink in Je ne sais quoi. And then you have your own customizable color, which is really cool. Definitely make sure that you wipe down your hand before you continue. Now I'm ready for eyeshadow. And I'm going to save bronzer until the end and powdering because I still have my concealer to do. I'm going to take my 201 into a MAC shadow called Kid, which is kind of a pinky neutral. And I'm going to sweep that just a little bit on the lid, bring it up into the socket, and just start to create that shape. So the great thing about the 201 is that it's so fluffy. You get the tip inside your socket, and then the fluffy parts disperse that powder for you. So it really works very nicely, especially if you have bigger eye skin to cover. If you need something smaller, I would go for something like a tapered crease brush, which will not disperse the powder quite so much. But if you have a bigger area of the face that you're trying to cover, then you definitely want a bigger brush. And that just adds a little bit of definition. Now we're going to go in again with the same color, but on a denser brush, on the 217. So I'm going to grab my shadow, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm bringing it in just a little bit farther on the lid, but I'm really focusing on building that color up in the crease. And just making sure I have a little bit more definition. And it almost looks like a completely different shadow, but I'm really only using one shadow and two brushes. So now I can decide if I want to pop the eye at all a little bit more, and I think I do because I want this to be very youthful, very glowy. I'm going to go in with Shroom and Floof, which are also MAC shadows, on the 203. Start right on the ball of the eye and then bring it into that inner corner. And I'm not pressing very hard because these shadows can get out of hand very quickly, especially Floof. And that's not really the look that we're going for. But I do want just a little bit of light happening on my eyelids as I turn my head. I'm going to go back in with my 217 with nothing extra on it, and I'm just going to make sure that everything is nice and soft and nice and blended. So those two shadows meet, and it's a very cohesive look. When I'm looking at myself off camera into my big mirror, I can tell that I definitely need some kind of liner. I'm going to go back in with Cinder Smoke, and I'm just very, very gently going to massage this into the roots of my lashes and not do too much of a line. But I do need a little bit more separation, otherwise my eyes just look a little funny. They look a little off. I need some kind of a liner to balance out the shape that we've just created. If you ever finish your eyeshadow and feel like something's off, try doing a really tiny liner, either with a pencil or with shadow, and see if that doesn't help. Then I'm going to grab my pencil brush and just soften that. You can also grab a Q-tip. The pencil brush is basically a Q-tip brush, and that just lifts the eye a little bit more and gives a little bit more definition. Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't really do any kind of kitten eye or kitten wing or anything like that, so we're going to basically leave the shape alone. I am going to add another layer of dimension by going in with Swiss Chocolate on my pencil brush and just kind of lightening that Cinder Smoke up a little bit, and also bringing in that pink element that we have going on with the rest of the face. And then we create this very, very cohesive look. So anywhere where the eye is looking, it's going to see some kind of pink. Now we are ready for mascara. and we are ready to finish up the rest of the look. So I'm going to start with the Big Eco from Tarte to get some really good volume in my lashes and especially the roots. And then I'm going to finish up with the Kitten mascara from Lisa Eldridge. And now we're down to our finishing touches. I'm going to take my concealer, roll it on my ring finger, separate it between my two ring fingers, gently tap on that concealer, and I feel like this is just a great way to end a makeup application lately, because now everything has had time to settle in. My face has been moving this entire time, and I'm very able to see where I still need a little bit of coverage and where I don't. And then we'll finish up with bronzer after this, just to give the face a little bit of shape and a little bit of definition. So taking my BK Beauty bronzer brush into Charlotte Tilbury's bronzer, going under the cheekbone and up onto the cheekbone. I'm not trying to do a contour, I'm just trying to give the face a little bit of definition, a little bit of shape, and a little bit of shading. And that is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching this Gwyneth Paltrow inspired tutorial. I love her style, especially in the movie Emma. I think they did a fantastic job with that. I do fashion videos every Wednesday, beauty videos every Friday. Make sure you check out the Emma book talk from Wednesday if you love Jane Austen and all things romantic comedy. And I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye!